Barry Gibb, he found that falsetto voice in the 70s.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he
Frankie
did.
Valli been doing that. They've been doing that in the 50s and 60s all day long.
I don't think he knew he had the falsetto.
Until someone kicked him in the nuts.
Maybe, I don't know. Barry Gibb was the hottest of them, though. He was handsome.
Stand alive, stand alive.
That's an awesome song.
It is a good song.
Justin Timberlake does a great imitation. Him and Jimmy Fallon.
Is Jimmy Fallon the best to recreate things? Do you know when he did
his Reading Rainbow Doors cover?
Reading Rainbow. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And the shit he said wasn't even real. At some point in the song, he was just like,
yeah, he was doing it perfect. He could nail Jim Morrison, man.
He really could. And the reaction on stage, like his physical appearance of just fucking passing out on the mic because he was too high on LSD and mescaline. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Fucking love the Doors.
Oh, God.
Yes.
So let's talk about the Lizard King. Yes,
let's talk about the freak keyboardist.
Oh, Ray
He
Manzarek
was my favorite.
Well, he's got the most talent. Even though Krieger's great, too, and so is Dinsmore, a great jazz drummer.
Well, I remember being little watching the Doors movie, and of course you have, like,
talking about
handsome Val Kilmer.
Yeah. That was Val Kilmer's heyday, too.
That was,
Back then, he was a good actor.
Great one,
but
man.
I like the keyboardist.
Because
I like Al Bundy. I'm like this weird person. But I love that music.
Ray Manzarek was a phenomenal keyboardist. And, they didn't have a bass player. He was doing the bass on the keyboard.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I did not know that. Yes. Interesting.
But of course, Jim Morrison and Val Kilmer.
Well, Jim Morrison made the band, though. As talented as Dinsmore, Krieger, and Manzarek were, without Jim Morrison, the Doors would not have been. He
come in with that whole thing.
He was so dark. Everybody.
That's what I was about to say.
Everybody in the '60s was like especially that psychedelic movement, very Jefferson Airplane. Bright colors. Funny. He's all black, hating life. Depression, alcohol,
miserable.
Yeah. He was
Freudic
like goth.
in every way.
He was basically goth.
The end when he performed,
and gorgeous. On top of it,
the
nerve to be fucking gorgeous.
And the women went crazy because of the darkness and the fact that he was sexy. Yeah.
So angry.
100%. Yeah.
And attractive.
And the thing is, and even
though he shitted on so many women, like, get out of my man, bitch.
Visceral. Like,
and when he performed the end and got kicked off, what was that old show that everybody used to go on during the
Ed Sullivan?
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. When they kicked him off there because he was like,
well, that was because he's
mother.
We couldn't get much higher.
That was that. Wasn't that was that like Whiskey Go-Go or something?
That's what I'm talking about.
No,
Whiskey
he got
Go-Go.
kicked off Ed Sullivan when he said, "Let's get higher."
Let's get higher.
Yes.
And
girl, we couldn't get much higher.
But no, the Whiskey Go-Go when he said, and
he like emphasized it in front of the camera. Just to say fuck you, Ed Sullivan.
And I love that. That is exactly him.
That's what rock means, man.
It 100% is. He is the reason. The reason that I love the Doors is because Jim Morrison was true to his character, like 100% across the board. And one of the things that made me realize that even before the Ed Sullivan Show was the Whiskey A Go-Go when he was singing the end, and he said, "Mother, I would like to rape you," or something like that. That was in the end lyric.
Yeah, that's what he. Father,
and it was so fucked up.
Rape you.
Yeah, brother, I want to. Mother, I want to, etc. Yeah. And it was just so wild because he did that even when his father had like jumped his shit, because his father was an admiral in the Navy
in World War II.
Yeah, so his father had already disapproved of him, and just as I'm a rock star and an American,
he had so many issues. Like he let it.
Oh God, yeah. And the crazy thing is, out of all of the drugs that he done, he drank himself to death.
Yep.
Out of everything that he did. Now, one of the interesting things when you watch the Lizard King documentary...
Well, you can't die of psychiatrix. Huh? That's what they did back then.
He died from a heroin overdose.
No, he died from alcohol.
No, he died from alcohol.
Yeah, he died. He drank himself to death and he died in a hotel in a bathtub in France.
Yep. I thought he died of an overdose from heroin in Paris.
Nope, killed himself drinking.
Alcoholic related.
Nope. I mean, one of the things that was interesting about Jim Morrison, though, was that with drugs, and I always respected the hell out of this. With drugs, he was never a long-term drug user of any one particular substance. He was a god in this aspect. He would use a substance and take 10,000 milligrams more or 10 lines more than the normal person would take and get as high as he possibly could on that substance. And then he was like, I'm done with it.
Well, because alcohol was his drug of choice.
Right. It was.
We talked about that in an earlier podcast.
I think we
Everyone's
did,
got a puzzle piece, and certain puzzle pieces.
And I think we even brought up Jim Morrison specifically, this specific case.
I don't think so.
I
You
don't
might be
remember
thinking.
that because I would have got on my Jim Morrison.
It may have been the
you were
very
probably
first one.
you were maybe thinking about that.
That's possible. But he would go out into the desert, and where everybody took, say 100 or 150 micrograms of LSD, he would take like 500.
Yeah.
And just trip his balls off, but then be done with the drug. Coke, same thing, et cetera, et cetera. Like, he did all of these different drugs, but maximized them, and then said, well, I've already been as high as I wanted to be on that drug. I've already maximized it to the point of, like, I wasn't going to return. So I'm all set. But the one constant in his life was alcohol.
Well, Alan Watts had talked to, when he was talking about acid, he basically said, once you get the call and you figure it out, you hang up the phone.
Yeah. No, it's a great point.
He
and
died
Jim Morrison
of
did that.
alcoholism.
He did.
The crazy thing is that Jim Morrison did that with all drugs. Like heroin, coke, etc. He did it. He did it for a couple months. He did it to the maximum level, figuring out where his body could attain the highest high on that drug, and then he would quit.
But not alcohol.
No,
But not alcohol.
He just couldn't.
He
He couldn't get away from it.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I've always thought
must
to
have-
myself,
Oh, and his looks completely went.
Yeah, he got that distended belly and.
big bushy beard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
just.
But
looked
he
like
didn't give a fuck about his looks.
Yeah.
No.
That's the thing. He didn't care.
No, he didn't. Well, he was so depressed.
Yeah.
He didn't give a
So,
shit.
what's your
sad dude.
favorite Doors song?
Break on through to the other side.
He hated that song too.
I know.
Did he really?
It is.
His favorite songs were the blues ones, like Roadhouse Blues. He did not like in Wild Love and stuff.
Backdoor Man is.
Second
and Gloria.
is L.A.
Gloria
Woman.
was a fucked up one. You guys listen to Gloria? Gloria.
Except for that's Van Morrison.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a Door song.
That's Van Morrison.
I am 99% sure that is. It even had the
And I'm
keyboard.
99.9% sure that it's Van
L.A.
Morrison.
Woman is a close second.
L.A. Woman's a good
It's a
one.
very
Doors
good one.
definitely did that.
Is that the one who's like Mojo Rising?
Ah, yes. L.A. Woman.
That's a great one.
Don't you love her as she's walking out the door
That's a different song.
like she did 1,000 times before?
That's a different song.